Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Daily Fantasy Digest podcast, the all-inclusive podcast where we talk all things fantasy sports to help give you an edge. I am your host, Joe Bewer, and we are back today after taking a 2-day break. Hope everybody won some money over the weekend and used some of the advice from the videos to make some winning lineups. Today we're going to be breaking down this 15-game Tuesday slate on June 11th. It's going to be the main slate starting at 6:05. Massive slate today, lots of pitchers, lots of bat stacks to take advantage of. So I'm going to jump right into my favorite pitching plays and then go into some bat stacks. Keep this video short and sweet so you guys can get this information real quick and make these winning lineups. So for today, we have 4 pitchers above 10K, Paddock, Castillo, Corbin, and Paxton. I do think paying up for one of these pitchers is necessary and vital for making a successful lineup. Now they're all relatively priced the same within a few $100s. So I think that the edge is going to really come in which one of these guys you pick because all of them are in smash spots, to be honest. Paddock is going up against the second lowest scoring offense in the league. Castillo is going up against the top 3 highest K percentage teams in the league. Corbin's going up against the White Sox, who are just dreadful, and Paxton is going up against the Mets, who are just dreadful. For me, Castillo is the top option for me. I'd take the $200 savings and just go with Castillo going up against Cleveland, who's just absolutely terrible. I do think Paddock has a great matchup, but he's just been getting shelled as of late by teams that are just pretty decent. And I'm looking for a safe floor here, and I think Castillo brings that with what he's shown this year. So I really want to look at Castillo here as my SP1 option. Now I think that going lower is going to be the option for other pitcher tonight. There's 2 that I'm really looking at. John Means going up against Toronto. He's in a pretty good matchup, and he's been pitching really well as of late. And 7,100 isn't really indicative of what he's been doing. The K's have been up relatively in the 6 or 7 range, pitching 6 innings in 2 of the past 4 games. Almost 20 points in 2 of the past 4 games as well. So I really like John Means, but a pitcher that I like even more is Dakota Hudson, who's just been on a solid roll of over 10 fantasy points in all 4 of the last 5 games, or all 4 of his past games. K's have been down, but he's going up against arguably the worst offense in the league in the Miami Marlins. So I really like Dakota Hudson here as a great ground ball pitcher and only has a 3.7 ERA on the season. Having a pitcher like this at 6,200 because I think that he's really underpriced. I think that 4,100 per bat left over for the stacks that I'm going to go over. It's going to be really vital because you're going to need to attack some of these smash spots. On this channel and in these breakdowns, I do leave out Coors Field when it comes to bat stacks. Everybody plays Coors, unfortunately, and for me, I don't think it's not hard to really stack a couple Coors bats. We know that Lambert's going to be pitching. All Cubs players are in effect, and then Jose Quintana is pitching for the Cubs, so all Rockies bats are in play if you do go there, but for me, that's always a GPP option. So, that being said, I want to look at my first stack and favorite stack of the night. It's going to be the Washington Nationals going up against Manny Banuelos. Over-under is currently sitting at 9 with the Washington Nationals favored minus 200 opening at lock. There's a few plays in this lineup that I really want to take advantage of, a few underpriced as well. Victor Robles, Brian Dozier right off the bat. 2 players that I really want to lock in. Hitting lower in the lineup, but have just been smashing over the past few games. Dozier here, massive for this price. 2 homers in the past 4 games, just absolutely crushing as of late. And then Victor Robles as well. Just been heating up, had a homer in past 5 games. And just really looking at both of these guys to step up. Now, I do think paying up for one of these high-priced guys is vital to, kind of do a 3-stack. I really like Rendon and I really like Turner. But for me, I would rather go Rendon. So this is probably what it's going to look like tomorrow if I can fit it in. But Dozier and Robles are the absolute locks for me when it comes to tomorrow. Now, there's 2 other stacks that I want to look at tonight. I really want to target the St. Louis Cardinals going up against Eliezer Hernandez for the Miami Marlins. I think that they're just in smash spots tomorrow, and they're so underpriced. Paul Goldschmidt at first base really jumps out to me as somebody that I really want to lock in. Another player that I do want to lock in as well is Matt Carpenter, but then you'd have to jump off of Rendon and go Trey Turner, which is completely understandable. And then Marcell Ozuna is also in play as well, who's just been playing out of his mind as of late. If you can fit him in, 4,900 kind of knocks you down a little bit, but it's definitely possible. Now, last stack for me on this slate is going to be the Dodgers going up against Felix Pena. I think that this is just a smash spot for everybody. And I really want to lock in a few players here. Alex Verdugo, who's been hitting, he's been in a little bit of a slump as of late, still hitting 291 on the year. I think is just in a great spot at 3,500. It seems minimum price to me. So I really want to lock in him as well as Corey Seager, and then go from there as far as catcher. You'll have plenty of catcher options in that 3K range. There's always low-tier catchers, and I never pay up for catchers. You can even complete a stack with going Yan Gomes, who's been absolutely incredible this year for the Nationals. There's plenty of options lower, and you can even pay up for somebody else besides Verdugo. But I think the play tomorrow is to get as many Washington National players in the lineup as you can. If we just go over here and look at Manny Banuelos' numbers, he's just been absolutely terrible. Only one double-digit score over the past 5 games. He even had a -12 where he gave up 9 runs against Boston and only went 2.2 innings. Only lasted more than 4 innings one time in the past 5-6 games. He's let up a run, but these were when he came in later in the game. He didn't start actually starting games until here. So I think that this is just a great spot to target Manny Banuelos if we just look at his numbers. And then if we go ahead and we look at Eliezer Hernandez, -2.5, only went 2 innings against San Francisco Giants, the arguable second to worst scoring offense in the league. Didn't even make it 2 innings. I think that targeting the St. Louis Cardinals here is just going to be absolutely incredible as well. And then, like I said, if you just go up to Felix Peña's numbers, Felix Peña right here. He's only 6,800, and the Dodgers have been incredible this year. Didn't even make it out of the first inning against Oakland, give up 7 runs on 8 hits. It's just been that type of year for Felix Peña, and we all know that the Dodgers are stacked lefties. So I think there's just a great kind of stack that you can do. I wouldn't mind adding another St. Louis player in there if you can fit Paul DeJong in there somehow. I wouldn't mind that at all, but I think that the play here is going to definitely be to stack Washington Nationals just to fade off of Coors Field. This is roughly what my lineup is going to look like tomorrow. Could potentially see me switching out Rendon for Trey Turner, but I think that getting 3 Nationals in tomorrow is just going to be the play going up against the terrible White Sox. And, the White Sox ballpark is a fairly hitters-friendly ballpark more than it is a pitching-friendly ballpark, and the weather's going to be very consistent tomorrow, so I think that it's going to be a lot of homers flying. And just a quick stat: Nationals have scored 15 runs in the past 2 games 15 runs total between the past 2 games that they've played in U.S. Cellular Park. So I think this is definitely going to be indicative of what the series is going to look like. But for me, Brian Dozier, Victor Robles, just too underpriced for me. And then Goldschmidt and Ozuna. If you want to switch Ozuna out, you can, but I think Goldschmidt is just so underpriced going up against Eliezer Hernandez as well as Ozuna. Ozuna should be definitely over 5K. And then adding into Dodgers, I like Seager and Verdugo to kind of complete the stack, and then adding whatever catcher you'd like into the mix. On this podcast, we do a Dinger of the Day call. If you're not familiar with that, last podcast we did on Saturday had Nelson Cruz as the Dinger of the Day, hit a homer in the first inning, which was incredible. So my call for today is going to be Brian Dozier. I think that he goes yard with ease tomorrow. Usually hits 6th spot, so I love Brian Dozier tomorrow as the Dinger of the Day against Manny Banuelos. This is definitely what my lineup's going to look like tomorrow as far as teams that I'm stacking. So yeah, I appreciate all the support on the videos, the consistent support that we've been getting. If you wouldn't mind subscribing on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. If you enjoy the videos, leave a like and a comment and let us know what you think. And if you wouldn't mind following us on Twitter at @FantasyDodgers_. Tweet us with any questions that you may have. And then, stay up to date on Twitter with all of the updates regarding the podcast as well as when videos drop. Really been appreciating the support we've been getting on the videos. And more breakdowns and interviews to come. So stay tuned. Until next time, peace.